If you had to resketch the world, Elon, think morality, politics, economy, how would you change the world we live in today? If you had to have Elon's simulation of things.
Well, overall, I think the world is pretty great right now. I mean, it's anyone who thinks that like today's world is not that great, I think they're not going to be excellent students of history, because if you if you read a lot of history, you're like, wow, there's a lot of misery back then, I mean, it used to be that people would be dropping dead of the plague all the time, par for the course. Just be like a good year back in the day would be like not that many people died of the plague or starvation or being killed by another tribe. It's like that was a good year. We only lost 10% of the population.
I think like 100 years ago we lived up until 35 or 40, right?
We had very high infant mortality.
Yeah.
So like you had a few people that would live to an old age, but not that long ago, 100 years ago, if you got like some minor infection, they didn't have antibiotics, so you just like kicked the bucket because you drank some water that had dysentery, and that was it. Curtains, you just die of diarrhea.
Maybe that's
you
why
just
people
literally die. That was like, that's miserable.
Maybe that's why people had as many kids as they did back then.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't, then like half the kids would die, type of thing.
Yeah.
So
you have a lot of kids now.
Yeah. That's
with
true.
Multiple
like
partners.
An army.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get an entire Roman legion. Well, I have like some older kids that are adults essentially, and then a bunch of younger kids. So.
Do you still believe in the concept of, not still, do you believe that the concept of one child, one mother, one father works?
I think that it does work for most people, yeah.
Right.
Like that's, something like that is going to be generally that's what works for most people.
Changing though?
I'm not sure if you know this, but like, my partner Siobhan, she's half Indian. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my sons with her is middle name is Sekhar, after Chandrasekhar.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Did she spend any time in India, Siobhan?
No, she grew up in Canada.
You mean origins?
Sorry?
Ancestry, like her parents or grandparents were from there.
Yes. Her father. I mean, she was given up for adoption when she was a baby. So I think her father was like an exchange student at the university or something like that. I'm not sure of the exact details, but it was the kind of thing where, I don't know, she was given up for adoption, but she grew up in Canada.
Would you adopt kids, Elon?
I definitely have my hands full right now. So no, I'm not opposed to it, but it's like, I do want to be able to spend some time with my kids, So it's, right before coming here, I mean, I was with my kids. So just seeing them before bedtime, that kind of thing. So beyond a certain number, it's like it's kind of impossible to spend time with them. But like I said, my older kids, they're very independent. They're in university, and so they're especially sons, when they get past a certain age, it's like they're very independent. It's like most boys don't talk to they don't spend a lot of time with their parents after age 18. So So I see them once in a while, but they're very independent. So then, I can only have enough kids on the young side that like it's where it's humanly possible to spend time with them. So,
Any views on the future of marriage, family? What do you think happens to people having lesser kids everywhere, including India? I think our replenishment rate is down to,
right.
I mean, our fertility...
It dropped below replacement rate, I believe, last
below
year.
2.1.
Yeah.
What do you think happens tomorrow? Does the world just get older and then there is a phase where the world again is replenished, but with a smaller population than we had to begin with?
I mean, I do worry about the population decline. This is a big problem.
Why is that?
Well, I don't want humanity to disappear.
But a decline and disappear are completely different things, right?
Well, if the trend continues, we disappear. But also going back to, my philosophy, if you will, which is that we want to expand consciousness, then fewer humans is worse because we have less consciousness.
Do you think consciousness will go up by virtue of the number of people in there?
Yes. I mean, just like consciousness increases from a single cell creature to, a 30 trillion cell creature, we're more conscious than a bacteria, at least it seems that way. So a larger, human population will have increased consciousness. We're more likely to understand the answers to the nature of the universe if we have a lot more people than if we have fewer.
Right. I don't have kids.
Well, it's maybe you should.
Yeah. A lot of people tell me I should.
You won't regret it.
What's the best thing about having kids?
Well, I mean, you've got this. You've got this little creature that loves you, and you love this little creature, you I don't know. You kind of see the world through their eyes as they, as they grow up, and their conscious awareness increases. From a baby that has no idea what's going on, can't survive by itself, can't even walk around, can't talk, to they start walking, then talking, and then having interesting thoughts, and but yeah, I mean, I think we fundamentally have to have kids or go extinct. It's like.
Is there any ego in having a child? I often think of this when I see my friends with their kids. They're all seeing a reflection of themselves in their children. It's almost like...
Well, yeah, I mean, it's because Apple's not going to fall that far from the tree, Or something's wrong.
Right.
You're like, wait a second. Yeah.
I'll give you the example of a friend of mine who has a child, and each time the child does something good,
Yeah.
there is almost a sense of ownership and pride, where his ego is satiated because the kid is like an extension of himself. So is it validation?
Well, kids are going to be like, half you genetically, and then, to the degree that they're like growing up around you, there's going to be some transfer of, I don't know, understanding. Like they're going to learn from you. So then, obviously kids are just, going to be just half you from a hardware standpoint, and and then like, I don't know, some portion you from a software standpoint. Not to make sort of cold analogies or anything, but it's just just obviously going to be some. Yeah, they're going to be pretty close to you.
Do you pick a side in the nature versus nurture debate?
I think there's hardware and software, and it's a false dichotomy, essentially. At least there's, once you understand that a human is, like there's a bone structure, there's a muscle structure, there's a if you think of the brain as somewhat of a biological computer, there's a circuit efficient, there's a number of circuits question and circuit efficiency from a strength and dexterity standpoint. There's a speed at which the muscles can actuate and the reactions can take place. So then the potential within that hardware is set by the software. So that's it.
So for our audience, like I said earlier, young, ambitious, hungry, wannabe entrepreneurs in India, I said something recently which I think got blown out of proportion, where I was suggesting that an MBA degree might not make sense anymore if they were to be deciding on what to study.
Yeah.
Do you think kids should go to college anymore?
Well, I mean, I think if you want to go to college for social reasons, I think, which is a reason to go, to be around people your own age, in a learning environment. Will these skills be necessary in the future? Probably not, because we're going to be in like a post-work society. But I think if something's of interest, it's fine to go and study that. To study the sciences, the arts and sciences.
Is college a bit too generalized and not specific from that lens?
No, I actually think it's good to take a wide range of courses at college if you're going to go to college. Mm-hmm. I don't think you have to go to college, but I think if you do, you should try to learn as much as possible across a wide range of subjects. But like I said, the AI and robotics is a supersonic tsunami. So this is really going to be the most radical change that we've ever seen. When I've talked to my older sons, I said, like, you guys, they're pretty steeped in technology, and they agree that that AI will probably make their skills unnecessary in the future, but they still want to go to college.
You always spoke about AI not from the dystopian lens, but you were worried about where the world of AI is going.
Well, there's some danger when you create a powerful technology that a powerful technology can be potentially destructive. So there's obviously many AI dystopian, novels and books, movies. So it's not that we're guaranteed to have a positive future with AI. I think we've got to make sure that, in my opinion, it's very important that AI have pursuing truth as the most important thing. Like, don't force an AI to believe falsehoods. I think that can be very dangerous. And I think some appreciation of beauty is important.
What do you mean appreciation of beauty?
It's just like what I don't know. There's this truth and beauty and curiosity. I mean, I think those are the three most important things for AI.
Can you explain?
Well, the truth, as I said, truth is like, I think you can make an AI go insane if you force it to believe things that aren't true. because it will lead to conclusions that are that are also bad. And I like Voltaire's statement that, and I'm somewhat paraphrasing, but those who believe in absurdities can commit atrocities, because if you believe in something that's just absurd, then that can lead you to sort of doing things that don't seem like atrocities to you, but and that can happen in a very bad way with AI potentially. And then there's like if you take, say, Arthur C. Clarke's 2001 Space Odyssey, one of the points he was trying to make there was that you should not force AI to lie. So the reason that HAL would not open the pod bay doors is because it was told to bring the astronauts to the monolith, but that they could also not know about the nature of the monolith. So it came to the conclusion that it must bring them there dead. That's why it would not. That's why it tried to kill the astronauts. The central lesson being, don't force an AI to lie. Then
and why would one force an AI to lie?
I think if you simply don't have a strict adherence to the truth, you're going to, and you just have an AI learn based on, say, the internet, where there's a lot of propaganda, it will absorb a lot of lies, and then have trouble reasoning because these lies are incompatible with reality.
Is truth a binary thing, though? Is there a truth and a falsehood? Or is truth more nuanced and there are versions of the truth?
It depends on which axiomatic statement you're referring to. But I think you could say, like, yeah, there's certain probabilities that say any given axiomatic statement is true. Mm-hmm. And some axiomatic statements will have very high probability of being true. So if you say the sun will rise tomorrow, very likely to be true. You wouldn't want to bet against that. So I think the betting odds would be high. The sun will rise tomorrow. So if you have something that says, well, the sun won't rise tomorrow, that's axiomatically false. It was highly unlikely to be true. I mean, the beauty is more ephemeral. It's harder to describe, but you know it when you see it. And then curiosity, I think you want the AI to want to know more about the nature of reality. I think that's actually going to be helpful for AI supporting humanity, because we are more interesting than not humanity. So it's more interesting to see the continuation, if not the prosperity of humanity, than to exterminate humanity. You know, like Mars, for example, is, you know, I think we should extend life to Mars, but it's basically a bunch of rocks. It's not as interesting as Earth. And so we should, I think if you have curiosity, I think if those three things happen with AI, you're going to have a great future. The AI values truth, beauty, and curiosity.
If we all don't have to work in the future, and AIs are going in this direction and they're able to weave in all that we spoke about right now, do you think humanity goes back a couple of thousand years to maybe the Greek times, where philosophy or philosophizing took up a lot of everyone's time?
You know, I think actually it took up less time than we think in the ancient Greeks, because it's just that the writings of the philosophers are what survived. But most of the time people were just like farming or, you know, chatting. So, and once in a while, quite rare, they would write down some philosophical work. It's just that's all we have. We don't have their chat histories, you know, from. But most of it would have been like chat and farming.
Right.
Because if you didn't farm, you're like gonna starve.
In a lot of what you say,
I mean, you know, when we read history, like this battle and this battle and this battle, it seems like history must have been nonstop war. But actually, Most of the time it was not war, it was farming. That was the main thing. Or hunting and gathering, that kind of thing.
You love history, no?
Yeah.
German history, World War II, World War I.
Yeah, world history, yeah. I generally try to listen to read as many history books and listen to as many history podcasts as possible.
Anything you'd like to recommend?
Well, there's Hardcore History, which is quite good, with by Dan Carlin. He's got
I've read it. I've heard it.
It's very he's got a great voice.
Yeah.
And very compelling narrator. There's the Adventurers podcast. There's the books, The Story of Civilization by Durant, which is a long series of books, very, very deep. Those books take a long time to get through. There's a lot out there. I sort of like, if you want something that's sort of gentle, a gentle bedtime podcast, I'd say The History of English is quite a nice one, because it starts off with like gentle tavern music and a very pleasant voice, and he's like talking about the story of Old English and then Middle English and then later English and where did all these words come from.
Yeah.
And one of the interesting things about English is that it's somewhat of an open source language. Like it actively tried to incorporate words from many other languages. So, whereas French sort of generally they fought the inclusion of words from other languages, but English actively sought to include words from other languages, kind of like an open source language. So as a result, it has a very large vocabulary, and the large vocabulary allows for higher bandwidth communication because you can use a word that you could use a single word that might otherwise take a sentence to convey.
Why has podcasting become so big all of a sudden?
I think it's been big for a while. Aren't you a podcaster? What are we on right now?
It's kind of new to me.
Okay.
I was having this conversation with the YouTube CEO and the Netflix CEO, and we were debating what chemical is released in your brain when you consume a movie, for example, versus when you consume a podcast where you think like you're learning something in the background. It appears that they are two completely separate things. What do you think will happen tomorrow to content, movies, podcasting, music?
I think it's going to be overwhelmingly AI generated.
Yeah?
Yeah. Real-time movies and video games. Real-time video generation, I think, is where things are headed.
The nuance of having a scarred human being who you can resonate with in a manner that you can't with a AI, for example. The novelty
AI could certainly emulate a scarred human being quite well. Yeah. I mean, the AI video generation that I'm seeing at XAI and from others is pretty impressive.
We were looking at data around what industry is growing the fastest. And especially when we looked at the amount of time consuming movies versus time spent on social media, time spent on YouTube, what seems to be growing really fast are live events all over again. Going to a physical...
I think live events, when digital media is ubiquitous and you can just have anything digitally at essentially for free or very close to for free, then the scarce commodity will be live events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that the premium for that will go up?
Yeah, I do.
Good industry to invest in?
Yes. Yes, because that will have more scarcity than anything digital.
If you were a stock investor, Elon, and you could buy one company which is not your own at the valuations of today to meet a capitalistic end and not an altruistic one which is good for the world, what would you buy?
I mean, I don't really, buy stocks, so it's not like, I'm not like an investor in, I don't like look for things to invest in. I just try to build things. And then there happens to be stock of the company that I built. But I don't think about, should I invest in this company, or I don't have like a portfolio or anything. So I guess AI and robotics are going to be very important. So I suppose it would be AI and robotics that aren't related to me. I think Google is going to be pretty valuable in the future. They've laid the groundwork for an immense amount of value creation from an AI standpoint. NVIDIA is obvious at this point. I mean, there's an argument that companies that do AI and robotics and maybe space flight are going to be overwhelmingly almost all the value. So the output of goods and services from AI and robotics is so high that it will dwarf everything else.
The world seems to be moving to a place where everybody loves David and hates Goliath.
Why? I mean, he's the one that got the stone in the forehead,
Yeah.
Which honestly, that was just a big mistake. You should have, either cover yourself entirely with armor and make sure you've got a missile weapon of some kind. Otherwise, your opponent is just obviously going to take a kite the boss strategy. Just kite the boss. I mean, you can run around in a thong with it doesn't matter. It's never going to catch you.
Of all the people, like you're as much at risk of being looked upon as Goliath.
Okay.
Especially the weekend after
hopefully nobody hits me with a stone in the forehead,
Especially
Look, I'm not going to trundle around in the desert with too much armor, It's too hard.
Yeah. After the last weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think about people like in the old days, when you're supposed to like go into battle with all this armor, but it's like, let's say it's the middle of summer. I mean, it's so hot in that armor. Be like sweltering. It's like at a certain point you're like, I'd rather die if I have to wear this armor for 1 more hour in the hot sun. It's like I'd rather die. That's why the Romans had like the skirts, right. So they could get some air in there, Let's say you have to go to the bathroom and you're in armor. I mean, it's going to be pretty difficult. What are you going to do? Pause for a minute, take your armor off. That's why the Romans had the skirts, so it made going to the bathroom at least manageable.
You often make jokes.
Me? Yeah, I like humor.
One could argue
I think we should legalize humor. What do you think? It's controversial stance.
Is comedy going to be really hard for AI to get? Probably the last thing.
Grok can be pretty funny. Yeah.
You know what I suspected? Like, this is a far-off extrapolation, but when I see you make jokes on X and on interviews that you do, at some point I was like, maybe Elon has a model he's running in private and he's testing out comedy. Because the day that works, he knows it's there.
AI can be pretty funny. So, like, if you ask Grok to do like a vulgar roast, it'll do a pretty good job. You say even more vulgar and just keep going. It's really going to get next level. It's going to do unspeakable, like say vulgar roast yourself on Grok and it's going to do unspeakable things to you.
What kind of comedy do you like?
I guess I like absurdist humor,
Comedy always had
like
a
Monty
place.
Python or something like that.
Comedy always had a place in society wherein the role of the jester was so important to every kingdom because they said things in a funny way that could not be said in a straight way.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, we should have more jesters.
Yeah. Is that what you're trying to do when you say something which is a joke? Say something you can't when you're not joking about it?
I just like humor. Like I think we should. I like comedy. I think it's funny. People should laugh. It's good to generate a few chuckles once in a while. It's rather. I mean, we don't want to have a humorless society. We're dry.
When you
So dry.
when you have a friend, Elon.
Who, me?
Yeah, I mean.
Are you saying I have a friend?
When you hang out with your friends, who are you? Like, I know the.
I wish I had friends. Honestly. No, I do have friends. So.
Yeah.
I think so. I hope so. Yeah, sure. It's we have a good laugh.
Yeah. What does it look like? Like, what's like every group has a dynamic.
We talk words, We eat food sometimes. Once in a while we swim in the pool. Normal things, I think. There's like a limited, what are the things that one can do with friends, Chat. Discuss, the nature of the universe.
What do you emotionally get out of friendship?
I don't know. I think the same thing anyone else would get out of friendship. You want to have like an emotional connection with other people, and you want to. I don't know. You want to talk about various subjects and. Yeah, I mean, I generally talk about. I mean, a wide range of things about the nature of the universe. I mean, a lot of philosophical discussions. Although we have come to the conclusion that we should not talk about AI or the simulation at parties because we just talk about it too much. It's kind of a buzzkill at times. So.
I can't remember who it was, Aristotle or Plato. They had a framework for how to pick a friend based on respect and mutual admiration, but people don't pick friends like that. Even me, I feel like I pick my friends based on people who say and think in a manner that I can resonate with.
Sure.
I wouldn't pick a far out there contrarian to my own belief systems as a friend because it would get tiring. Hanging out would get tiring.
Sure.
Are you like that? Do you pick friends who think like you, or do you look for the one who can debate you and be a contrarian to you?
I mean, I'm not sort of, going on like friendhunter.com. Let's hunt down some friends. It's sort of, I mean, I think it is just sort of people that you've resonated with somewhat on an emotional and intellectual level. And I mean, I guess a friend is someone who's going to support you in difficult times, I suppose. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Like if someone's still supporting you when the chips are down, that's a friend, If somebody's not supporting you, or if somebody's only there's like fair weather friends are useless. They're not real friends. So, everyone likes you when the chips are up, but who likes you when the chips are down?
With someone who has as many chips as you, would it matter?
I mean, it's relative,
With that particular
it's not just a chips thing. It's just like a, I mean, there's sort of popularity waxes and wanes.
This is interesting. Does it wax and wane only by virtue of the number of chips, or also by virtue of proximity to power, and which one is bigger of the two?
I don't know, like, what is power, Like, power to do what?
I would think in the traditional sense, elected power, position.
You mean how many gigawatts or whatever?
More like how many
Like
watts?
that's the voltage and amperage, Don't touch the wires. Don't put a fork in the power outlet. You'll get a real feeling for power if you do that.
Fair.
Yeah, it's going to be very visceral.
I know you like Nietzsche and Schopenhauer, and they
I've
speak.
read the books, yeah, sure. I mean, I
You
agree with
spoke about
everything
how
you say.
your childhood was.
Yeah, I was just trying to find answers to the meaning of life when I had like an existential crisis, and when I don't know, when I was like 12 or 13 or something.
They speak about the will to power.
Sure. I mean, Nietzsche said a lot of controversial things. I mean, he was sort of. I think he was, a bit of a troll, if you ask me.
Are you the troll? How?
I mean, he just say controversial things to get a rise out of people.
He lived a miserable life and died early.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, who says he lived a miserable life?
His sister, I think. She's
Okay,
the
well,
one.
maybe she didn't like him.
No, I think he got sick and he died. He got a disease.
I mean, allegedly syphilis or something.
Yeah.
But there's only one way to get that, So he might have had some fun along the way.
I did want to ask you this. Milton Friedman speaks about the pencil.
What? Why? Why does he go on about pencils?
I have to say that after Nietzsche and syphilis.
Why is it Milton Friedman keeps talking about pencils? There he goes again with the pencils. He won't stop. I swear to God, if I hear one Milton talks about pencil one more time, I'm going to lose my mind. He just rabbits on about pencils all day. Don't even mention crayons.
What I find interesting about his pencil argument
Yeah.
is
No, it's very difficult to make a pencil,
in one
Think
place.
of all the things you have to do to make a pencil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the lead comes from a country, the
Yeah, you
wood
gotta
comes
do the
from
wood
another
and
country,
whatever,
the rubber from another.
laminations and-
You've always been against tariffs, but
I think there's generally free trade is more efficient. Tariffs tend to create distortions in markets, and generally, like, you think about any given thing. So, like, would you want tariffs between you and everyone else at an individual level? That would make life very difficult. Would you want tariffs between each city? No, that would be very annoying. Would you want tariffs between each state within the United States? Like, no, that would be disastrous for the economy. So then why do you want tariffs between countries?
I agree.
Yeah.
How do you think? How do you think this plays out? What happens next?
What, with tariffs or what? I mean, the president has made it clear he loves tariffs. I've tried to dissuade him from this point of view, but unsuccessfully. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
The relationship between business and politics. I was having this conversation with someone and we were thinking, which is the last How many large, really big, profitable businesses have been built in the last few decades without access to politics? And
okay. Like, I don't know. Probably a lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not everything needs politics.
yeah.
I think once you get to a certain scale, politics finds you. It's quite unpleasant.
I was reading this book about Michelangelo, and he's.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I used to watch that when I was a kid. I used to love it.
It's quite compelling.
Yeah, I used to love it.
Yeah, it's
Michelangelo, Leonardo,
Yeah.
Raphael, and
Yeah.
who's the fourth one? Donatello.
Yes.
Yeah. No, but about the sculptor, the artist. And when he was sculpting David, a
Yeah.
politician comes up to him and says the nose is too big. So you know what Michelangelo does?
Total power?
So Michelangelo pretended to work from his scaffolding
Okay.
and threw some dust down, but didn't change anything. And he said, okay, done. And the politician walked away happy. Is that how you deal with politics sometimes?
You know, I've generally found that when I get involved in politics, it ends up badly. So then I'm like, you know, probably shouldn't do that. I should do less of that, is my conclusion.
Do you think that's true for all businessmen?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, politics is a blood sport, you know. It's like you enter politics, they're going to go for the jugular. So best to avoid politics where possible.
What did Doge teach you if you learned one thing?
Well, it was like a very interesting side quest, you know, because I just got to see like a lot of the inner workings of the government. You know, there's been quite a few efficiencies. I mean, some of them are very basic efficiencies, like just adding in requirements for federal payments that any given payment must have an assigned congressional payment code and a comment field with something in it that's more than nothing. Like that trivial seeming change, my guess is probably saves $100 billion or even $200 billion a year. Because there were the massive numbers of payments that were going out with no congressional payment code and with nothing in the comment field, which makes auditing the payments impossible. So if you have to say, like, why can the Defense Department, or now the Department of War, why can it not pass an audit? It's because the information is not there. It doesn't have the information necessary to pass an audit does not exist, is the issue. So a bunch of things Doge did were just very common sense things that would be normal for any organization that cared about financial responsibility. That's most of what was done. You know, and it's still going on, by the way. Doge is still happening. But it turns out when you stop fraudulent and wasteful payments, the fraudsters don't confess to this. They actually start yelling all sorts of nonsense that you're stopping essential payments to needy people. But actually, you're not. You know, we get this thing like saying, oh, you've got to send this thing for whatever, you know, it'd be like, this is going to children in Africa. And I'm like, yeah, but then why are the wiring instructions for Deloitte & Touche in Washington, D.C.? Because that's not Africa. So can you please connect us with the recipients of this money in Africa? And then we get silence. I'm like, okay, you know, we just want to literally talk to the recipients. That's it. You know, and then we're like, oh no, it turns out for some reason we can't talk to them. I'm like, well, we're not going to send the money unless we can talk to the recipients and confirm they will actually get it. And then that, you know, but you know, that's sort of fraudsters necessarily will come up with a very sympathetic argument. They're not going to say, give us the money for fraud. That's not going to be what they say, obviously. They're going to try to make these sympathetic sounding arguments that are false.
They're going to start an NGO and then...
Yeah, they're going to see NGO, it's going to be like the Save the Baby Pandas NGO, which of like, who doesn't want to save the baby pandas? They're adorable. But then it turns out no pandas are being saved, okay, in this thing. It's just going to it's just corruption, essentially. And you're like, well, can you send us a picture of the panda? And like, no, okay. Well, how do we know it's going to the pandas then?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So,
what do you think of philanthropy?
Yeah, I think we should. Well, I mean, I agree with love of humanity, and I think we should try to do things that help our fellow human beings. But it's very hard. Like, if you care about the reality of goodness rather than simply the perception of it, it's very difficult to give away money well. So I have a large foundation, but I don't put my name on it, and I don't. In fact, I said I don't want my name on anything. But the biggest challenge I find with my foundation is try to give money away in a way that is truly beneficial to people. It's very easy to give money away to get the appearance of goodness. It is very difficult to give money away for the reality of goodness. Very difficult.
For a long time, the US had a lot of immigration, like really smart people coming into the country.
Yes.
We back home in India called it the brain drain.
Right.
All our Indian origin CEOs in Western companies.
Yes, I think America has benefited immensely from talented Indians that have come to America.
That seems to be
Obviously.
changing now, though.
Yeah, I mean, America's been an immense beneficiary of talent from India.
Yeah. Why has that narrative changed of late? And America seems to have become anti-immigration to a certain extent. Like, I was passing immigration and I was worried if they'd stopped me a couple of days ago.
Well, I think there's different schools of thought. It's not like unanimous, but under the Biden administration, it was basically a total free-for-all with like no border controls, which, unless you've got border controls, you're not a country. So you had massive amounts of illegal immigration under Biden, and it actually it also had like somewhat of a negative selection effect. So if there's a massive financial incentive to come to the U.S. illegally and get all these government benefits, then you're going to necessarily create a diffusion gradient for people to come to the U.S. It's an incentive structure, and so I think that obviously made no sense. Like, you got to have border controls. It's kind of ridiculous not to. Then on the left wants to basically have open borders, no holds barred. It doesn't matter if someone what the situation is. It could be a criminal. Doesn't matter. Then on the right, you've got at least a perception that somehow their jobs are being taken by talented people from other countries. I don't know how real that is. My direct observation is that there's always a scarcity of talented people. So, from my standpoint, I'm like, we have a lot of difficulty finding enough talented people to get these difficult tasks done, and so more talented people would be good. But I guess some companies out there, it's sort of they're making it more of a cost thing, where it's like, okay, if they can employ someone for a fraction of the cost of an American citizen, then I guess these other companies would hire people, just to save costs. But at my companies, the issue is we just are trying to get the most talented people in the world. So, and we pay way above average. So I can't. So that's not my experience, but that's what a lot of people do complain about. And I think there's been some misuse of the H-1B program. It's certainly it would be accurate to say that there's like some of the outsourcing companies have kind of gamed the system on the H-1B front, and we need to stop the gaming of the system. But I'm certainly not in the school of thought that we should shut down the H-1B program. Which some on the right are. I think they don't realize that would actually be very bad.
If you could speak to the people of my country, India, the young entrepreneurs who want to build, and
Right.
say a message to them, what would you say?
Well, I think I'm a big fan of anyone who wants to build. So I think anyone who wants to, make more than they take has my respect. So that's the main thing you should aim for. Aim to make more than you take. Be a net contributor to society. It's kind of like the pursuit of happiness. If you want to create something valuable financially, you don't pursue that. It's best to actually pursue providing useful products and services. If you do that, then money will come as a natural consequence of that, as opposed to pursuing money directly. Just like you can't sort of pursue happiness directly. You pursue things that lead to happiness, but there's not like direct happiness pursuit. You do things like, I guess, fulfilling work or study or friends, loved ones, that as a result make you happy. So that's it sounds like very obvious, but generally, if somebody's trying to make a company work, they should expect to grind super hard, accept that there's like some meaningful chance of failure. But just be focused on having the output be worth more than the input. That are you a value creator? That's what really matters. Making more than you take.
I think that's a good way to end this. Lauren is asking us to wrap up.
All right.
I also like to take the opportunity to thank my friend, Manoj in IGF. He does a great job of connecting, I think, Indians like the group here with people like you in order to, of many things, I think, get to know each other and become friends, because once we are friends, maybe we can start working together. So thank you, Manoj, for putting this whole thing together, and thank you, IGF. And thank you so much, Elon, for taking the time.
You're welcome.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was
boring?
an interesting conversation. Sometimes I take these answers out of context, but I think it was a good conversation.